Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time without any updates about the car. I think the last time we left off was we had just run the car down at Edgewater in Cleves, Ohio, Cincinnati area, and the car ran a personal best then. It ran 686 into the 8th, like 105, 106 miles an hour, something like that. It was moving out pretty good. And that was with that tunnel ram intake on it that I had made the phenolic resin top for to run a single carburetor instead of the dual setup like they're manufactured for. And since then, there's been some changes. You'll notice vacancy in the engine compartment. Trans is still hanging in there, but the thing's crying corn tears for some reason. The other day, it just started dripping fuel out of that hose. Not sure why, but I've got extra hose to make a new one, and I need to just go ahead and drain the rest of the fuel in there. Those are packing peanuts floating around in there. I bought some parts from my buddy Jim the other day, and they showed up and had a peanut explosion. So with that being said, now we get to where we're at now, and that is trying to decide on what to repower this thing with. I've already started, you can see back there, I've already started to collect parts and components for a big block in the car. And that motor is one that I've had kicking around for, I don't know, here and there, 30 years probably. So that's it. I think it's a 74 or 5 block. It's 630 440-1. So was only one core change. Yeah, it's a 75 block. That's neither here nor there, but I got it years ago, and it's been in a couple different vehicles now. The 64 gasser. If you're a subscriber, you've seen the 64 gasser in some of those videos. Maybe you've watched them, maybe you haven't, but this motor was in that car when I sold it. Initially, this motor was built for that car to have twin turbos and fuel injection on it, but at some point I decided that that's not the route that I wanted to go. I wanted a more nostalgic 60s straight axle gasser AFX type car look, and the twin turbos and fuel injection do not coincide with that. So directions were changed, and that car ended up with a tunnel ram and two Edelbrock 750s on it, on E85 or 600s converted to E85. Big solid lifter cam, the 312 590 in it. Sounded great. Fender well headers. Nasty big block for no more than what it was. This motor does have a steel crank in it, and it's got Eagle H-beam rods in it and Icon dish piston, forged disc piston in it. Like I said, initially it was put together to have boost thrown at it, and then I change directions. So with that being said, you can see that the current headers that are on this thing are up and forward V-band flanged stainless steel turbo headers. So the current plan is to put some twin Wu-Tang war whistles on this thing, thanks to Steve Dolchik and Freiberger and Richard Holdner, watching their videos and what they've done with the GT45 platform, inexpensive turbocharger, and Cletus McFarland. He's done one too. That put me in the into going this direction, and there's a couple boxes here, and there's one of the Chinese whirly boys, GT45 journal bearing. Nothing crazy, it's inexpensive. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on something that I have no knowledge of really, other than what I've picked up from other people, other videos, and I just didn't want to invest a bunch of money because I need to learn how to tune turbocharged setup before I get into like more expensive turbochargers and components and things like that. So that's where we are right now. You can see over there that intake is the one I bought from my buddy Jim, STR14 for 440. It's got these dual top plates made for it, so you can switch from two AFB or Edelbrock carburetors to single 4500 Holley Dominator, whichever one you want to run. That's pretty cool. Also got some other things from him. These Howard solid lifters, that NOS Mopar purple cam back there, new balancer, the original valve covers from the 64, gasser over here. But also I picked up this Indy, I think it's a 440-2. Yeah, 440-2 intake. You can see those are the Mopar Performance Stage 6 aluminum raised port head in max wedge size. So I've got the M1 intake to match those, but it has not been ported yet. It's as new. I don't think it's ever been ran on anything. I got it off of Marketplace. Got the heads off of Marketplace as well. Got the headers off of Marketplace. So where I'm at right now is take this off here. And this intake weighs a ton. There's a lot of material in that intake to take out if you need to. But so I had Dave at K&G Engines in Kansas, Ohio, CNC port these Stage 6 heads. Of course, they don't have any hardware in them, no guts in them yet, no valves or nothing like that. They still need to be set up, but so these are Indy 440-1. I think these are for the 345 head, 345cc intake port, and you can see that they're just a shade bigger than what the actual port window is in these heads. I could probably go in and flap wheel those intake ports to blend them in there to make it match completely, but when you're blowing air through it, probably is a moot point at that time. So I've got some other parts down here. I've got comp cam, and Milodon oil pump cover for the remote oil pickup. There's a new timing chain in there. So that kind of leads us to my question, and that is to the subscribers and viewers, kind of what their thoughts are on the path forward on this. It's last week of April now, so as far as getting the car together for trip down the strip this year may or may not happen. Just depends on how things go. But the question is, and just like previously with the turbo application before, I've been kicking around maybe changing over to the Gen 3 Hemi platform. They're very capable engines, especially when you shove air through them. They move a lot of, the cylinder heads in those motors move a lot of air anyway. And like the heads that are these stage 6 heads have probably hit the 350 CFM mark on the intake port, which is pretty good. That's not a small number, but compared to like the 6.4 or 392 Apache head, it moves 340 from the factory without any work done to it. So you can see where there's some benefits to doing that and moving to that Gen 3 platform and being able to use, you know, predominantly stock type components. So, you know, this stage 6 head, it needs a special rocker arm because of the offset for the intake valves. The intake ports are so wide that they move the pushrod hole, and so it's a 450 offset. It's not common like the Edelbrock Victors use a 650 offset. I think the Indies use a 750 or 800 offset. So I think the only other head that shares the 450 offset is like the B1 BS head, budget sportsman head. So there's pros and cons, I'm sure, to both. And you know, it's just a question of, you know, budget wise, do you continue the path forward with the big block? You know, I've got 90% of the gaskets. The heads need to be, you know, completed, valve train completed, which I would say most of that, besides the rocker arms, and I would need to make a set of push rods, or have probably another set of Smith Brothers made, and then, you know, $1,300 set of rocker arms from Harlan, or even probably an even more expensive set from T&D or something like that. They offer a rocker arm as well. I have scoured the Facebook pages and put feelers out there for a 450 offset set of rocker arms. If somebody had a set, maybe they hadn't used or slightly used or something along those lines, but no luck yet on finding anything. So that's the question. So if you're a subscriber, or you're just watching the videos, please like, subscribe, and then comment what path you think is the best to move forward. Do we continue forward with this 440 build and you know, kind of a low boost setup, you know, 8 to 10 pounds, and learn how to tune that turbocharged setup? And because this thing still has the stock iron caps on the crank. It does have studs in it, but I mean that's I guess that's a little bit of insurance, but it's not a lot on the bottom end of a big block Chrysler. The whole bottom end has been balanced, obviously, race balanced, obviously, by a local engine shop, Cammer here in Dayton area. So the other question is, you know, if we do stick with the 440, you know, do we put it in the car and run it in its current state naturally aspirated first with the 513 gear in the car, same converter that's in the car now, and just see where it's at naturally aspirated? You know, these cylinder heads can move some air, but the camshaft that we're going to be using is relatively small in comparison to probably where these heads are going to make their peak airflow numbers. So we're not going to be anywhere near 700 thousandths lift. We might be just under or just at, you know, 600. It might be like 580, 590 split or something like that. The camshaft is I believe it's the Extreme Energy 290S comp cam for big block Chrysler, solid lifter. And so the power range is like 3,200 to 7,000. So that's, from what I understand, that's good. So you don't make so much power so far down in the RPM range that the torque of the motor doesn't try to shove the crankshaft through the main caps. You make that torque and the boost higher up in the RPM ranges, so the motor can live up there. And of course, we don't plan on turning the snot out of this thing like the small block. You know, we were at 7,500, 7,800, 8,000 RPM in that thing, and it was a wild ride. It was violent at those RPM ranges. But this thing may be like 6,000 RPM. We're going to cut way back on the gear on it to like probably a 355 or 323 gear. The car is not going to need all that gear to get it to move. We're going to use the turbochargers and the torque from compressed air to get the car to move. So it'll be a little bit more drivable on the street, but just kind of curious if people think we should get a baseline with the thing to run naturally aspirated and then you know, throw boost at it, or just go for put the whirly boys on there and just run it on like an 8-pound gate and 6-pound gate and see, you know, how much boost it'll make at that. Sometimes these will boost creep a little bit and you'll end up maybe like 8 or 10 at the end of a long pull, but I don't think that would be a problem. We're still going to run it on E85, so no intercooler, just blowing straight from the outlet of the turbocharger into the hat on the carburetor. It is going to be carbureted, blow through carburetor. I'm fairly certain of that still. But so I guess that's a little update on what's going on with the car. It has been, like I said, it's been a long time since I posted anything. Winter was rough here. I'm sure it was rough for a lot of people, and so now we're getting back into the swing of it. We've been cleaning up the shop from the winter, and you can see our little display back here, a little man corner we did also. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so that's where we are with the car right now. So again, if you're a subscriber or if you're watching the video, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this whole turbocharged power plant setup, whether you would do Gen 3 and why, and or just stick with the 440 low boost, maybe make an easy 700-ish horsepower on low boost, and just run it out that way. Easier on parts, but you know, then there's the cost of components, and then if you have failures, how long to get replacements and things like that, because of the specialized, like I said, rocker arm offsets and all of that. You know, is it going to be easy to repair? Clearly you can see these headers. Well, these headers, they don't allow for a valve cover to fit in there as of right now, and I assume that's probably why the guy that sold them to me is he figured out that he couldn't run them either, because you can't even adjust the valves without taking the headers off, which you have to take the whole turbo system off. That's kind of a problem. You can flip them down the other way, but the oil pump is down there in the way, and the steering gearbox is in the way. So there's that. These headers aren't going to work in this configuration. I don't even know if it'll fit in the car with these headers on it and the factory inner fenders still in it. That's a bridge that will need to get crossed later on if we decide to keep going down this path. I do have this motor plate to mount it, but it may or may not get used. You can see it's never been bolted on anything, it's brand new, but and it would make a very convenient place to put some brackets to hold the turbochargers, so the turbo isn't hanging on the header itself or the pipe connecting the two. But yeah, there's just some hurdles to get across to make this thing work, and you know, is it worth it to jump through the hoops, do you think, or do you think just cut losses, or not really cut losses, but change directions and do the Gen 3 Hemi thing? A lot of people are doing it. They are, you know, relatively robust engines. Check out that sign. We found that behind a garage at some guy's little store down the road, and one of these just auctioned off at Mecum Auctions, but I couldn't find out how much it auctioned off for, but I think we gave like 35 or 40 bucks for that sign. That's crazy. But yeah, so there's some hurdles to jump through to make this thing work out, and just, is it worth it or not? So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video for now, and hopefully I'll see a lot of good comments come in about people's thoughts on what they would do going forward. You know, would you stick to the big block or go Gen 3 Hemi? I'm sure there's probably going to be a relatively even split, I would think, between people that comment on what they would or wouldn't do or how they would go about it. But I look forward to those comments, and we will see you on the next video, which shouldn't be too long from now. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can see this series of these videos for the new Poison Dart power plant coming up. Should be pretty good. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.